"You're too weird for my wedding," she said. My parents were paying $25,000. Her fairy tale day turned into a community center nightmare she'll never forget. Hey, before we begin, hit that like button. This story's about to take a turn you won't see coming. It was a regular Tuesday evening, 6:47 p.m. I was making pasta in my small apartment when my phone rang. My sister, Mel, 26, popped up on the screen. I smiled. I hadn't heard from her in a while. "Hey," I said, stirring the sauce. She didn't sound cheerful. "So about the wedding?" "You're not invited," I froze, spoon still in hand. "Wait, what?" "Yeah," she said casually. "My fiancé and I talked, and he thinks you're kind of weird." "Honestly, I agree. We just want people who fit our vibe." "You don't." Her tone was sharp, final, like she was cutting off a loose thread. I blinked, trying to process what I just heard. "Mel, we're siblings." "I know. But it's my day. My choice." I took a deep breath. "All right then. Your day, your choice." She sounded almost relieved. "Exactly. Glad you get it." And then she hung up. I stood there in my kitchen for maybe 10 seconds, staring at the boiling pasta like it would explain what just happened. Then I did the only thing I could think of. I called Dad. "Hey, Mel just uninvited me from her wedding." "What? Why?" "Her fiancé thinks I'm weird." There was a long silence on the line. Then Dad's calm voice turned cold. "The wedding we're paying $25,000 for?" "Yep," he didn't even hesitate. "Hold on." Within minutes, he had Mom on a three-way call. I could hear the shock in her voice when Dad explained. "Mom, oh, absolutely not. We are not paying for a wedding that excludes our son." "Dad, stay on the line. I'm calling her." They added Mel to the call. "Hey, Dad," she answered, oblivious. "Did you just uninvite your brother?" he asked. Yeah, but no." "Here's what's happening," Dad said, his voice firm. "Either he's invited with a proper apology, or we pull our $25,000. You have until Friday to decide." Mel panicked. "Dad, we've already paid deposits." "The venue, then you'd better decide fast," he said, and hung up. Within 5 minutes, my phone started lighting up with calls from Mel. I didn't answer. She called 8 times in an hour, then started texting. "You told Dad? You just ruined everything. This is my wedding, and you ruined it. Hope you're happy, you selfish piece of garbage." I didn't reply. Friday came around. 3:34 p.m., Dad called me. "Your sister phoned. Tried crying. Said we were destroying her dream." Mom told her the same thing. "Invite him or pay for it yourself." Mel hung up on them. That night, I got a text. From her fiancé, of all people. First message ever. "You need to tell your parents you're fine not coming." "This is ridiculous," I replied. "I am fine not coming. But my parents decide what they do with their money." "You're being petty and ruining our wedding," he fired back. "Your wedding, your guest list, their money, their choice." No response. That night, at 11:52 p.m., Mel finally called again. "Fine," she said. "You're invited. Tell Mom and Dad." "Dad said you need to apologize," I told her. "For what?" she snapped. "For uninviting your brother because he's weird." "Oh my God, you're such a baby." "Fine, I'm sorry. Happy? That's not a real apology. What do you want from me?" "To actually understand why it was wrong." "It wouldn't have been wrong if you hadn't gone crying to Daddy." And she hung up. A minute later, she screenshotted our conversation and sent it to Dad with the caption, "See, he won't accept my apology." "I tried," Dad replied in the family group chat. "That wasn't an apology. That was you saying words to get money." Mel left the chat immediately. Sunday, my uncle called. Dad's brother. "Your sister called me sobbing," he said. "Said your parents are punishing her over nothing. Then she asked if I'd contribute to the wedding." "What did you say?" I asked. He laughed. "I said no." Then she hung up. Later that week, Mom called. The bridal shower's on Saturday. I'm not going, I told her. You don't have to, she said. If my son isn't welcome at the wedding, I'm not participating in the events either. Your sister's losing her mind. Apparently, Mom kept her word. She didn't go. My cousin texted me after the shower. Everyone was asking where your mom was. Your sister said she's being dramatic. Then someone asked about you, and she said you couldn't make it. I told them the truth. 3 bridesmaids left immediately. Later that night, Mel posted on social media, "Real family shows up when it matters. Fake family creates drama." An hour later, our aunt commented, "Real family doesn't uninvite siblings from weddings." The post was deleted within minutes. By Thursday, her fiancé emailed me 8 long paragraphs about how I was jealous, how my parents were manipulative, and how this was financial abuse. He ended it with, "We're consulting lawyers about emotional distress." I didn't reply, just forwarded it to Dad. Dad's only response, "These kids are delusional." Friday night, 8:14 p.m. I was watching TV when I heard pounding on my apartment door. Opened it. There she was. Mel, mascara running, eyes wild. "Fix this now," she yelled. "Fix what?" "Tell Mom and Dad you overreacted." "Tell them it was a misunderstanding." "It wasn't," I said quietly. "He doesn't think you're weird anymore. He barely even knows you." "Then why did he say that in the first place?" "Because you are. You're quiet. You dress weird. You don't talk about normal stuff." "So I'm weird because I'm not like him?" She froze, then stammered, "You're making this impossible. The venue called. They're canceling because we can't make the payment. The caterer wants their deposit. Everything's falling apart." "Then postpone," I said. "Save up." "We can't. Everyone's coming. His family's flying in. I have my dress. Sounds like a you problem." "Why are you doing this?" She screamed. "You've always been jealous. That I'm prettier, that people like me, that I'm getting married first." I just stared. "Mel, I didn't do this to you." "You did." I closed the door and locked it. For the next 15 minutes, she pounded and screamed, "You're dead to me. When Mom and Dad die, I'm taking everything. You'll get nothing. Enjoy being alone forever." My neighbor finally opened his door. "Ma'am, if you don't leave, I'm calling the cops." She left. A few minutes later, I got a text. "You're dead to me. Hope you die alone, loser." I took a screenshot and sent it to the family group chat. Dad. Jesus Christ. Mom immediately called Mel. I could hear her through the phone on speaker. "Did you threaten your brother's inheritance?" Mel. "I didn't threaten. Yes or no?" "Fine. Yes, because he's ruining my life." Dad cut in. "You're not the executor. Your brother is, and the estate is split 50-50. You're proving right now why we made him executor, because he's level-headed and you're not. I hate you all," she screamed, and hung up. That was the night everything changed. Because from that point on, the wedding stopped being a celebration and turned into a slow-motion collapse. After that night, something inside me changed. I couldn't look at her the same way, but I didn't say anything. I thought maybe I was overreacting. Maybe I was just tired or insecure. She still texted me the next morning like nothing happened. "Good morning, handsome," I replied. "Morning." That's it. No emoji, no sweetness, just one word, she noticed. By afternoon, she called me. "Hey, are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, just busy." She paused. "You sound weird. Did something happen?" I wanted to scream, "Yeah, I saw your little act last night with your ex." But instead I said, "No, it's fine." Because that's what I always did. Pretend it's fine. The next week was filled with mixed signals. One day, she was extra affectionate, calling me every night, sending cute selfies, asking if I missed her. The next day, she'd disappear for hours, not reply, and when she did, she'd say, "Oh, sorry," was hanging out with some friends. Her friends. That word started to make me feel sick. Then one evening, I was scrolling through social media and noticed a story from one of her friends. They were at a karaoke bar, and in the background, I could see him. Her ex. Same guy from the wedding. Same face I couldn't get out of my head. She hadn't told me she'd gone there, so I texted her. "Having fun?" She didn't reply. An hour later, she texted back, "Yeah, sorry. It was a last-minute plan. You know how my friends are." Except I knew she was lying, because the guy was there. And she conveniently left that part out. That night, I couldn't sleep. My chest felt tight. It's such a helpless feeling when you know something's off, but you don't have proof strong enough to confront it. So I decided to test her. The next day, I told her I'd be busy all weekend. A friend's wedding out of town. I wanted to see how she'd react when she thought I wasn't around. She said, "Oh, I'll miss you. Text me when you can." But that night, one of my friends who lived near her sent me a picture. He had seen her car parked outside a familiar spot. It was that same cafe she used to go to with her ex, so I drove there. I told myself not to, but I did, and there she was. Through the glass window, I saw her sitting across from him, laughing, smiling. That same expression she used to have with me. I sat in my car for 10 minutes, just staring, frozen. I wasn't angry, not yet. I was just done. When she finally came home later that night, she called me like everything was normal. "Hey babe, how's the wedding?" I said, "Yeah, good. You?" She said, "Just chilled at home, watched Netflix. That was it." The moment I knew, she was lying straight to my face, and it didn't even bother her. The next day, I sent her a text. "Can we talk?" She said, "Sure, what's up?" I said, "In person." We met at the same cafe the next evening, the same place she'd been with him. I picked it on purpose. When she arrived, she looked nervous. She probably sensed something was coming. "So," I said, "how was your Netflix night?" She blinked, confused. "What do you mean?" I looked her in the eye and said quietly, "You weren't home. You were here, with him." Her face drained of color. "Wait, what?" "No, I wasn't." "Don't lie," I said. "I saw you." There was a long silence. Her lips trembled a little. Then she said the one thing that destroyed whatever was left of us. "Okay, it was just coffee. That's all. We were just talking. Just coffee. Just talking." Just another lie. I didn't yell. I didn't even say anything cruel. I just said, "I don't trust you anymore." She started crying, saying it didn't mean anything, that she just needed closure, that she was confused. But the truth is, closure doesn't happen at secret cafe meetings. It happens when two people stop holding on. I walked away that evening without looking back, and for a few days, I actually thought that was the end of it. But it wasn't, because she didn't stop. A week later, she started showing up at my apartment unannounced, leaving notes, texting me constantly, saying things like, "You're overreacting. You know I'd never cheat. Please, let's just start over." At first, I ignored it, but then one night, she sent a text that shook me. "If I can't have you, no one will." I stared at that message for a full minute, unsure whether to be scared or heartbroken. Maybe both. That was the moment I realized this wasn't just a breakup. It was turning into something darker. That text, "If I can't have you, no one will," sat in my phone like a ticking time bomb. I didn't sleep that night. Every sound outside my window made me jump. Every vibration of my phone felt like another storm coming. The next morning, I blocked her number. Then I blocked her on every app. I told myself, this is it. She can't reach me anymore. But I was wrong. 2 days later, I woke up to a knock on my door. It was early, maybe 7 a.m. When I opened it, she was standing there, eyes swollen, hair messy, holding a paper bag like it meant something. "I just wanted to drop your hoodie off," she said quietly. I didn't even care about the hoodie. I just wanted her gone. Please don't come here again, I said. She nodded, but her eyes didn't move. They stayed fixed on me, like she was trying to memorize my face. Then she whispered, I didn't cheat. I swear I didn't. I just didn't know how to let go. Before I could answer, she turned and left. That should have been closure, but it wasn't. That night, I got a call from an unknown number. I didn't answer. Then came another one, and another. Finally, I picked up and said, Who is this? Silence. Then a faint voice said, Why are you ignoring me? It was her. Because we're done, I said. She started crying on the call, saying, You don't understand. I made a mistake. But I still love you. Something inside me broke. I wasn't angry anymore. I was exhausted. I said, Love doesn't look like this, Maya. It doesn't trap people. It lets them breathe. And I hung up. For the next week, things went quiet. No calls, no messages. I started sleeping again, eating again, feeling normal again. I even met my friends without thinking about her every 5 minutes. Then one night, around 2 a.m., I got a text from one of her friends. Are you awake? You need to know something. My stomach sank. I replied, What happened? Her friend said, She's at the hospital. I froze. What? Why? She said, She took something. Pills, I think. They're pumping her stomach now. I don't remember how fast I drove. I just remember standing in that cold, white hallway, staring through the glass at her lying there. Pale, quiet, surrounded by machines. Her friend whispered, She called your name before she passed out. I don't know how to describe that moment. Guilt, fear, anger, sadness. It was all mixed together. The doctor said she'd be okay. They got to her in time. But it shook me. It made me realize how dangerous emotional dependency can become when someone refuses to let go. When she woke up, I went inside the room. She looked at me and tried to smile weakly. I thought you'd hate me, she whispered. I said, I don't hate you, but you need help. She looked away, tears sliding down her face. I know, I'm sorry. We didn't talk for long. I told her I'd contact her brother and make sure she wasn't alone after discharge. Then I left. That was the last time I saw her. A few months passed. Life started to rebuild itself, piece by piece. I focused on work, therapy, and spending time with people who actually brought peace instead of chaos. One day, I got a letter in my mailbox. No return address, just my name. Inside, there was a handwritten note. I'm sorry for everything. You were right. Love shouldn't hurt. Thank you for teaching me that. I'm getting help now. Please don't reply. I just wanted you to know I'm okay. I stood there for a while, reading it over and over. It didn't make me sad. It made me peaceful. Because finally, it was over. 6 months later, I was sitting in the same cafe where everything had fallen apart. Not out of nostalgia, just coincidence. The barista asked for my order. And as I waited, I noticed something written on the wall. A small framed quote. Sometimes closure is just accepting that an apology may never come, and being okay with that. I smiled, because for once, I didn't need an apology. I had moved on, and somewhere out there, I hoped she had too. When I look back now, I realize love isn't supposed to feel like constant proof. It's supposed to feel like trust, even in silence. If you ever have to track someone's honesty, you've already lost them. I learned that the hard way. But I also learned something else. Sometimes the most painful endings are the ones that save you. Top Reddit comments say things like, Wow, I didn't see that twist coming. I thought she'd cheat, not spiral like that. He handled it better than most would. Respect for staying calm. That letter at the end hit me hard. Closure can be quiet. She needed therapy, not a relationship. Glad they both got out. One of the most emotional and realistic stories I've heard here. Thanks for watching. If this one got you thinking, The next one's gonna blow your mind.